Black people are consistently being ignored, or I feel like that's what I hear. But when we look at the numbers, if there's any group of people that the party should be most loyal to and most vocal about, is Black people, because Black people have historically held this down. Now, we don't have the numbers in this country for sure, but percentage wise, there is only one group of people. When you walk into a room full of Black people, you can almost guarantee that they believe in the democratic ideals. When you walk into a room full of white people, you don't know what you're walking into. Okay. So I think that we have to come to a consensus about a baseline of, when we're talking about the LGBTQIA community, we all gonna stand with the community as a whole, and maybe even have something specific that's like that one big thing that like nobody can fold on. Same thing with Black folks, same thing with Latinos, same thing with women, same thing with all of the different kind of fractions within our umbrella. We have to say, as a baseline, we will not accept anybody that does not stand for these very basic things. And frankly, for Black folk, it's just honestly acknowledging our humanity. So when it comes to answering the question of what America owes Black women...
Hold. See, this is why, man, we need a new party, y'all. We ain't gonna do shit as long as the Democrats are the party that Black people vote for. Did you hear what she said? Y'all see that? Y'all hear this? Then she wonders why she lost Texas. Man, she'll be lucky if she could keep a podcast going. See, this is why people need to listen, man. She just said, Black people are deserving of these things because Black people are the most loyal group. No, you know what? Since we're so loyal, we don't deserve shit. That's how it works. Loyalty is not rewarded. Loyalty is taken advantage of. I mean, think about it, fam. We've all been in relationships. A person that's too loyal, a person that's loyal without there being a firm commitment from the other person is just a oppressed person who ain't got nowhere else to go. I mean, come on now. We're going to be grown up or not. I mean, you know, you're loyal when someone puts a ring on your finger. Then you have a reason to be loyal. Democrats have not put a ring on the Black people's finger. So our loyalty is being rewarded exactly how it should be rewarded, by being misused and abused and served like hell. Till one day it was found in a cell. Listen to what I'm saying. So she went on to say that. Now let's move past that, because that takes you to think broader and bigger. You got to step outside the box and look at it for what it is. If you're a person that's going to give your order to somebody without them giving their order to you, your ass going to be used. And it's important for Black Americans to stop this, because that's when you're going to be owed something. You only owe something if someone's willing to give it to you. Next, she says, so her big plan is that all groups, all these various factions in the Democratic Party, LGBTQIA, immigrants, I don't know who else she named, women, I don't know. She said they all should be, everyone should have to commit to a one thing for each group. One thing for each group. And you see what she said there? See what she said? She didn't put any stipulations on what that one thing would be for the Latinos, or for the Asians, or for the LGBTQ. But she did put a stipulation on what it would be for Black people. That you recognize our humanity. Now, I don't want nobody to recognize my humanity. That's what lawsuits are for. I don't need you to recognize my humanity. I need you to recognize money. Yeah, I need you to recognize reparations. That's what I need you to recognize, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. Recognize that Black people have worked without getting compensated in this country. That's what we need you to recognize. Don't recognize my humanity. See, if you recognize me by paying me so that I can take care of my family with what's owed to me, that would have been owed to my grandparents or to his parents, our parents, that they could have passed down wealth to their children also the fact that we were redlined and prevented from building wealth all the way up until what? I'd say damn near the 80s. I'd say most black people have faced such obstacles in being able to accumulate wealth that really, our time didn't really start ticking until 1980. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. I mean, up until that point. And I'm not saying we don't face discrimination today, but I'm saying when I look at discrimination that black people have dealt with historically in this country, I don't want people to just think about slavery. I'm talking about Jim Crow. I'm talking about all the way up until the civil rights in 65. Affirmative action had started in 70. And then by 75, it was basically handed over to white women. You know what I'm saying? And then they let in the Asians and the Latinos in large numbers. So to kind of quash any gains that we gained, any advancement that was garnered up until that point. And consequently, we started to decline in certain areas, such as home ownership. So these things started around like 1980 that we started to decline. We went from 52% in 1990 home ownership, and now we're back down to 44. We went backwards under Obama. We went backwards under Biden. We went backwards under Clinton. See, no one talks about that. But you know who didn't go backwards? Latinos. They took our spot in the low 50s. Home ownership. So Jasmine Crockett, very, very stealthily, she just said all other groups should get something concrete. And what should black people get? For America to recognize our humanity. What the hell is that? Nah, I don't need you to recognize my humanity. Recognize my bank account. Recognize a dividend. Recognize I won't be paying taxes for the next 300 years. Since you want to redline me and my family out of existence, you want to let us get bank loans, business loans, but you gave it to the Asian Americans? I need you to go ahead and, my people don't need to pay taxes for the next 300 years. How about that? How about that? And I mean any type of tax. Health tax, income tax. Shit, if I play Monopoly, I don't even want to play that motherfucker. When I hit that, I don't even want to have to pay taxes when I go around the board. No tax at all. I shouldn't have to pay for a taxi. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, fam. But see, Jasmine Crockett doesn't have that type of guts. That's why we don't need these lames in politics cosplaying as fighting for black Americans, because they not. She's not even in office. In a couple months, she's gonna be gone. She can't even stand on business now, dog. She ain't even running again. She can't even stand on business now. She a lame duck. And still being careful what she say when it comes to working for us. But let her ass loose. What happened to all the black people that should have came out for me? We would have came out for you, Jasmine, but we wanted to recognize your humanity. We were busy recognizing your humanity, so we didn't think we needed to vote too. But we were recognizing your humanity. That was a good one. That was good. I'm gonna miss her.
And the answer is everything. When we think about the sacrifices that black women have made from the moment that we were stolen from our homelands and transported into this country, to the fact that black women continue to stand as the backbone specifically of the Democratic Party, we know that black women are always the ones that are doing the labor, but we are also the ones that are always the first targets of any harm. So this 4th of July, I say celebrate a black woman that you know, because whether it's an invention that...
Well, ho, hold up. Hold up, son. Am I the only person hearing this bullshit? Y'all not sitting here with me. Family. Are y'all hearing this? First of all, let me push back on a couple things. First thing is, black women did not sacrifice for America. We were victimized. Black women were victimized by America. That's not sacrifice. A sacrifice is something you do voluntarily, Goofy. A sacrifice is something you do to aid or help, and that's a voluntary pursuit. You do that out of love or out of duty, right? Like you sacrifice. I get up and wash the damn dishes because we need somebody to wash the dishes. I'm going to go to this second job because I'm sacrificing for my family so we have what we need. I'm not going to tell your mama that her cooking's garbage because I don't want it to be no fighting in this. You know, I want us to have a peaceful Thanksgiving or a nice picnic. That's a sacrifice. What happened to black women and black men was that a sacrifice. That's called victim. That's called abuse. That's called murder. They call that sacrifice. And black women had not been sacrificing for the Democratic Party. Y'all been goofily, and not just black women, but black people have very goofily, that's not even a word. Black Americans have failed to break away from the Democratic Party. And we need to change that. Now, we need to give you something to break away to. Don't get it twisted. But it's not a sacrifice. We have been sacrificing for the Democratic. Why is she using this language? Sacrificing. What, to cast a ballot? No, that's been a dumb choice. That's a choice black women have been making. Jasmine Crockett, you did not sacrifice becoming a Democrat. You saw a career opportunity. The last thing you've done has been a sacrifice. It's been a come up for you. It's been a come up for you, Ayanna Presley, Ilhan Omar, AOC, all y'all. It's called come up. It's a come up. And for black Americans, working class folks who be voting Democrat, that's not a sacrifice. It's a bad move. It's a mistake. It's a desperate move based on lack of options at best, and at worst, a foolhardy decision that needs to be rectified immediately. But to call it a sacrifice is that's an exaggerated viewpoint to take, fam. Now, it's not a sacrifice to every 4 years to go out there and vote for the same dumb party that's not getting done what you need to get done and then listen to their bullshit all because you like Taraji P. Henson's movies. Like, come on, man. All because Shirley Ralph is an entertaining soul and Viola Davis is amazing and Jeffrey Wright is a hell of an actor and Wendell Pierce has range, and Samuel Jackson and on and on and on. And Spike Lee said, just do the right thing. She's got to have it. So, I don't like the language. I don't like the framing of this at all. The Democrats don't owe you shit because they're not in the business of paying back debts. They're in the business of stealing votes. And the Republicans don't owe you anything because you never vote for them anyway. And you haven't struck a deal. So we need to strike a deal. And the deal, no one will strike a deal with somebody who doesn't have any options. And as long as the Democrats feel they're the only option in town, then they have no incentive to strike a deal with us. And unfortunately, we have politicians like Jasmine Crockett who don't demand anything other than to have a seat at the table for themselves. Then we are basically up a river without a paddle. That's basically where we are, fam. So, hey, look, the rest of the field is what it is. But I just think we need to get the terminology right. We need to get that through our heads. sacrifice. Like you going to war or some shit. Now, you been picking up a paycheck, Jasmine Crockett. You been up here trying to become a star.
Of the Democratic Party, we know that black women are always the ones that are doing the labor, but we are also the ones that are always the first targets of any harm. So,
what harm have you received, Jasmine Crockett? What harm have you received? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about American history? Or are we talking about politics? Because politically, I haven't seen you receive any harm at all. In fact, you became a household name. People know you all across the country. Unfortunately, it's not for anything political that you've really done other than talk shit about Trump. And that's why you out on your ass. That's it. But I don't see, evidently, I know we got a lot of black commentators that have been crying or wail. They've been complaining that you lost, but I don't see what Texas lost. I haven't heard Texas cry. But what is this? What is this? Black women are the first ones to be hurt. I don't know what you're talking about.
This 4th of July, I say celebrate a black woman that you know, because whether it's an invention that she made or whether it's the very democracy that still hangs by a thread right now, there is a black woman.
Why aren't you trying to make this about black women? Why come you just can't ride for black people? Why are you trying to separate us? Now I gotta go back and see who did more inventions. Why don't you just say black America? Why are you saying black woman? Because you're a black woman. You want to make this about you, huh? Boy, one thing Jasmine Crockett has always been very successful at doing is shoving her head directly up her own ass. She's been really good at that. She's been perfect. She's been excellent at talking about herself and putting as much attention as humanly possible squarely on her own self. That's really what she's good at. She's not good at much else. Why not just say black people, black Americans? We've all paid a price, collectively as families, but as a group. Why would you want to separate that? It's not Mother's Day.
Woman to thank for her contributions.